Stuck sucks, but you're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're just believing the wrong story. Let's rewrite those stories together. I'm Rob Foglia, broker for Exit Real Estate Experts in Old Hickory and author of Real Estate Reset. And I've helped many agents over the years figure out ways to get unstuck. So today, let's review 5 limiting beliefs that real estate agents tend to have and how to get past them. Henry Ford once said one of my favorite quotes. He said that whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. And I love that because it tells us that whatever we believe is what's going to happen. It's what our mindset says is the direction our life is going to go. The very first limiting belief I want to talk about today is I have to be available for my clients 24/7. The reality is you don't. Now you can choose to be, everybody's different, everybody runs their own business, and I'm not going to judge somebody who works outside of traditional business hours. But the reality is you're a professional, you're a real estate professional. And so you don't necessarily have to be available 24/7. Let me ask you a question. If you called your doctor's office and it's Saturday at 3 p.m., do you expect your doctor's office to answer? I mean, maybe if they're open during that time, of course, but if they're not open at Saturday at 3 p.m., and they have that option for you to leave a voicemail, their outgoing message is going to tell you that, hey, we'll get back with you on the next business day, or we'll get back with you on Monday at 9 a.m. or whatever their voicemail says. You can do the same as a professional if you choose to. And when you set that standard, your clients are going to respect it. They're going to respect that you're a professional. So just know that you don't have to be available 24/7. You can choose to be if you want, but the reality is you don't have to be. Professionals aren't available 24/7. The second limiting belief that agents tend to have is that I'm too introverted to lead generate. The reality is that's false. There's no such thing as being too introverted to lead generate. Now, you might be going after the wrong lead generation levers. And so what that means is everybody's going to have personality strengths. Some people are super direct, some people are super extroverted, some people are great at planning. And whatever your personality strength is, you got to lean into it. So if you're super direct, lean into that. Be direct as a salesperson. If you're super outgoing, be an amazing networker. If you're super amicable, you can build a long-term nurture program to help generate and follow up with and cultivate leads. And if you're super analytical, you can lean into that as well and help people plan for their futures. But whatever it is, lean into your superpower. Third limiting belief that agents tend to have is that they need a huge budget in order to go after listings. And that is just totally false. Because yes, if you want to go out there and invest in marketing systems and buy leads from fill-in-the-blank company, sure, you're going to need a marketing budget. If you're going to spend money, you need the budget to spend it. But the reality is your phone doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything other than your monthly bill, but hey, we all have cell phone bills already. It doesn't cost you anything to go out there and pick up the phone and call the people you know, to go after a for sale by owner and call a FSBO or to text somebody. That doesn't cost you anything. So you don't need a huge budget to go after listings. You just got to choose to go after that and make that your focus to generate listing business. The fourth limiting belief that people tend to have is that the market is just too saturated with real estate agents. But let me be real with you. There have always been a lot of agents. That's just the reality of our situation in our industry. There used to be jokes that you can throw a rock and hit a real estate agent. Well, you probably still can. And there's no big deal. That just maybe is what it is. But what you can do is you can actually lean in to what makes you unique. Be authentic. Go after your unique selling proposition. Whatever it is that you want to build your business on, go after it. Build your business on that. You don't need to be everybody's real estate agent, but you just need to be your best authentic self to the people you choose to work with. Then the fifth limiting belief that agents tend to have is that I can't take time off. If I take time off, my business is going to fall apart. And everybody's different. And I'm not going to tell somebody to go take 6 months off, because yes, your business might suffer if you take 6 months off. But you can take a long weekend. You can take a week off. There is nothing wrong with that. But the caveat is, what have you been doing leading up to it? So meaning if you've spent the last 30 days not lead generating, not going after business, not filling your pipeline, and you take the next week off, well, your business might be suffering here in a little bit. But if you've spent the last 30 days, the last 60 days, 90 days, going after business, generating leads, talking with new people to add to your pipeline, well, if you take a week off, that won't be a big deal. In fact, you might come back from your vacation and all of a sudden have that email sitting in your inbox from that past client that's like, hey, it's time to sell. Let's do it, and they might get your auto response and say, hey, cool, I didn't realize you were out of town. Let's talk on Monday when you're back. I promise you, people will respect the boundaries if you set them and communicate it. You know, I led off this video with one of my favorite quotes, and let me finish it with one of my favorite quotes. And that quote is that when you're writing the story of your own life, don't let someone else hold the pen. Now, what you're doing when you're buying into these limiting beliefs that we talked about is you're letting someone else hold the pen. You're letting that limiting belief write the story of your life. Don't let that happen. You don't have to have that. That doesn't have to be the case. Just go out there, buy into the positive, know that you can create the life that you're wanting to create. And if you're wanting more of this content, hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, check out Real Estate Reset, available on Amazon.